Well, thank you so much, Nick. We appreciate your time, and you'll have to come check out nature, Nick, and I'm going to hang with Barberry. Obviously, we just got very well acquainted during this interview. So,
Katelynn, I imagine it's really hard to say how those drills impact people, right?
Oh, that's absolutely right, Iris. Of course, we can speculate, everyone can, but at the moment, there is no empirical evidence on what those psychological impacts might be regarding things like active shooter drills.
Well, Tamani, students who were marching were clearly emotional, and some were even brought to tears while attending a meeting that was held to discuss these videos. That was something that we learned the night of the shooting, as people who were standing at the corner here of Midland Avenue and West Beard Avenue told us they were here in celebration of a family member who had passed away that day.
Just that they have part of the brother that they never met. You know?
In North Syracuse, you'll probably see Katelynn Ulrich outside with his family, tending to his garden.
But he was always outside doing something.
It runs in the family.
He loved gardening. He had his own garden in Auburn.
Katelynn's son, Jordan, had a green thumb too, and a love for helping people, and eventually becoming a reconstructive surgeon. But those dreams never got a chance to bloom.
He said he had an accident, and I said, okay, well, where can I go pick him up? I mean, that's all I ever thought, you know. And he says, I'm sorry to tell you, but he didn't make it. Oh, you probably could have heard me screaming all the way down to Syracuse downtown, and that was it, you know. Just like that, life changes.
Nearly 10 years ago, 19-year-old Jordan was driving home from Binghamton University. Driving along Route 20 near Auburn, his car trailed off the road and crashed into a ditch.
Now I'm focusing on one subject, the one that I believe in, that killed him, the fatigue driving.
It's not clear what caused the crash, but Katelynn believes Jordan fell asleep at the wheel.
I can be the happiest guy right now, and then all of a sudden I just hear something. It could be a song, it could be a smell, it could be somebody saying something that they don't mean to trigger me, but to them it's not a trigger. And you go from happy to a complete breakdown.
Almost a decade later, Katelynn is trying to bring awareness to fatigued driving, hoping to prevent others from suffering the loss he did. In that mission, he's trying to grow something beautiful out of his pain.
I can't go to his burial. I don't like going there. I know it's just a body, but I don't like standing, and he's only 6 foot away from me.
So he's made a garden of the site where Jordan crashed.
This is where I can show a little bit of what he liked doing, you know.
Tulips, roses, rhubarb, peaches, a true to type site from father to son.
If that is where he passed away, then I always sometimes feel that that's where I'm closest to him.
Katelynn knows all too well that no garden can last forever.
A good starting base to get down deep.
But he'll continue to plant the seeds for as long as he can. For Spectrum News, Katelynn Ulrich.
So sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss. I lost a son as well, so I know what that pain is like.
There are few words to console a grieving parent.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. All that hurt and pain, I understand. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like those of 12-year-old James Springer III, the 6th grader who was fatally shot Wednesday on the 100 block of John Street in Syracuse.
I had my firstborn taken from me as well. I know that pain. What do we want?
Stop the violence!
And when do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Stop the violence!
And when do we want it? Now!
And there are seemingly few ways for a person to grieve when any child is killed, especially when it's a tragedy too common.
I'm hurting too. I have a son, I have a daughter. My brother's all in jail. I lost my brothers, my cousins. I don't have nobody.
Right.
All my family is in jail or dead. I don't have nobody. I'm all by myself, so I feel you guys' pain. And that's why I'm here.
She's lost brothers. She's had family members shot and killed in her family. That's what she do. She's bitten because the community is traumatized. The community is hurting.
Looking to stop the bullets, OGs Against Gun Violence walks through the Northside neighborhood Thursday.
We want justice for Junior.
For some who walk, learning to carry such grief is learning how to help those around them.
Justice for Junior. Now.
And learning to help each other is their method for keeping each other alive.
That you take this cloud from over this city.
If you can't tell by the dozens of photos, Robin Del Fiore likes to take pictures.
That's his best girl, his dog.
And photo taking became even more important about 3 years ago when her son was incarcerated. She wanted Alex in all of her photos, so she printed out a picture of his head and took it to all the big events.
He was like, Mom, you are so cool. I can't believe you did this. Like, everyone up here is like, oh my God, I can't believe your mom did that. And yeah, he was so happy.
Robin's son, Alex, is serving a 3.5-year sentence at Hale Creek, a medium security facility in the Mohawk Valley. Though the facility went months without a single COVID case, now there are 24 active cases and 22 pending at the facility. And yet, there is no word on when the incarcerated will be vaccinated.
Don't say, oh, because you've, committed some crime or you've done, you're not deserving of this, because you are.
In congregate living with reusable masks meant to last weeks, Alex is vulnerable, especially because he's diabetic.
So people get sick and we put them in solitary. You're in a box, sick by yourself for 23 hours. That's not treatment, that's torture.
Robin started advocacy work with the Center for Community Alternatives. The group's position is that all people in congregate living are vulnerable, especially those in prisons and jails.
I don't want to take it away from anybody, but it doesn't seem like rocket science to me that you would go to nursing homes, you would go to homeless shelters, you would go to, prisons and jails. You would go to where people don't have the option to not be on top of each other.
Though the state's 1B vaccination group includes those in congregate living, there is no word on the imprisoned. Early this month, there was confusion in Albany. Lawmakers in the majority Democratic conference said they were told inmates and correctional officers would be included in 1B. But the Republican Senate Minority Leader says his conference heard the opposite. New York State Health Commissioner Dr. Howard Zucker and Larry Schwartz are handling the vaccine program.
Take care of that. It's a vaccine. Take care of it.
Robin says the incarcerated are often only thought of as criminals.
This is still my son, who I love.
But they're people too.
They're still human beings. That's my favorite picture of him.